Yo, YouTube, welcome to another Comic-Jon news brief where we touch on the top news from around the comic book world. And today, it is a loaded potato. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and make sure to ring that bell twice so you never miss out on any of our videos as soon as they're posted. Also, make sure to check out our podcast, The Podcastle, anywhere you get your podcasts. So, guys, major news coming out in the MCU and the DC EU or the DCU. I don't really know what they're calling it now. But to start off, AntMan 3 confirmed. Oh, sorry. It's No Shave November, and I'm jumping on the bandwagon for the first time in my life. Normally, I would just grow a beard. But I can't do it anymore. I had a beard for like 6 years of my life. Just grew it out. And I even bought wax for it and would trim it in the mirror every morning. And then I shaved it off. And every time now about like 4 or 5 days in, if I don't shave, what's going on under here is just so irritating. So I was like, there's just no way I'm growing a beard for No Shave November if I'm going to do this. So I will go in the complete, I don't know if it's the opposite direction, but in a different direction. I've never had a mustache in my life. As you can see, I can barely grow one. White guys like me barely grow upper lip hair. But it's only been about a week, so I bet you in the next 2 or 3 weeks, mid-November, right around Thanksgiving, I'll be looking really, really good 80s porn star-ish. So there's that to look forward to. But we have more than just my mustache to look forward to. We have Ant-Man 3, and all I keep seeing in my head is Ant-Man 3 plus something equals 4. As in, the only reason they're doing this movie, the only reason Kevin Feige said, okay, you know what, after all this back and forth about Ant-Man 3, we're going to do it. And here's why we're going to do it. Now, there's obviously right off the bat, because this news was floating around for a week or two, maybe even 3, until finally they were like, okay, we've got a director attached to it. And it's going to be, and it's confirmed. Feige, gave his blessing, said, yeah, we're going to do Ant-Man 3. Now, I don't know what it's going to be called. If they're going to call it, Ant-Man and the Wasp 2. For some reason, that's my guess. Peyton Reed, he's the guy. He's confirmed. He will direct Ant-Man 3. It's coming in 2022. And in 2022, we just have so much going on. There's just so many amazing comic book movies that are coming out in 2022 that Ant-Man, you're barely even going to notice Ant-Man. It looks like, so we all thought 2021 would be the best year for, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And also the TV universe, the Disney Plus stuff that's coming out. In 2021, here's what we have ready to be released. Just buckle up here. Shang-Chi. Now, I have a feeling this movie's either going to do Black Panther numbers, or it's going to do Thor Dark World numbers. And then later, we're going to all come to a conclusion as a group, as a fandom, as they keep calling us, as one of the best movies in the whole thing. I feel like this Shang-Chi movie is going to either set up a big, huge villain, lead into a big, huge villain, or just be one of the coolest fucking movies that they're going to make. I know nothing about Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. Seems kind of cool. And it seems like the 10 Rings are going to be the next, the MacGuffin of the next phase, because now the Infinity Stones are gone. So, so 2021, Shang-Chi, gonna be awesome. Mark my words, it's gonna shock a lot of people. Then after that, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Spider-Man 3, WandaVision, Loki, What If, Hawkeye. Now, those are not in order, because we all know that the WandaVision show is going to lead right into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But in 2022, there's going to be some competition, because right now, as of today, we have the news that Ant-Man 3 is a go. We also have news and received that, I think it was like D23 this summer, that Black Panther 2 and possibly Captain Marvel sequel. Okay, so even though 2021 has like 7 different, properties kicking off, movies and TV, 2022 only has Ant-Man 3 and Black Panther 2. However, Ant-Man 1 and 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp has grossed over $1 billion. Black Panther 2 has grossed over $1 billion. So those two movies together, it's going to be like the equivalent of a couple of the Disney Plus shows, or maybe, the Doctor Strange movie, or probably the Shang-Chi movie. Not going to gross $1 million or $1 billion, but it should. So I thought Black Panther, and this was foolish of me at the time when I made this prediction on the podcast about Black Panther. I was like, this movie's going to make half the amount of money that the lowest earning MCU movie has brought in. Because even though they introduced him in Civil War, and it was such a cool way to introduce him, I didn't know Black Panther was. And in fact, in the back of my head, I was like, why did they name a character Black Panther? I mean, that just seems way too obvious. It would be like having a villain called the Grand Wizard, or just the Clan member, and spell it with a K. So I didn't really anticipate Black Panther doing much. And I feel like I feel the same. No, I don't feel the same about Shang-Chi. I feel like I don't know, and I want to know. I want to know what these 10 rings are. What are the 10 rings? Anyone in the comments, let me know what the hell the 10 rings are. What do they do? They have powers. They have different abilities. I mean, I've done like light research about the 10 rings, and I don't know. They seem kind of like the stones. Like they all have different, purposes. But they, like, each one serves, like, one specific purpose, just like the stones. So, anyway, getting way off topic here. Sort of, not really. Ant-Man 3. Sorry. This new weed this is medical marijuana, by the way, if anyone's curious. I don't vape. I don't use tobacco. And I don't smoke weed. I vape it. And this is called Skywalker. Pretty awesome, right? Okay, Ant-Man 3. Everyone is theorizing, speculating, because, we know nothing. It's almost like when movie and like Marvel, like comic book movie fans do this, they predict, what's going to happen, who they're going to cast, what this storyline might be. It's just like those broadcasters for the football games. Like they don't know. They're just predicting the future. They're just like taking a guess. And it doesn't matter if we're wrong. That's what's so much fun about it. It does not matter how many times you're wrong, because nobody's keeping track. No one's like tallying how many times you've been right in your predictions about, nonsense. But the big theory. What the hell? Sorry about that, guys. So, the big theory, and this whole reasoning behind even doing an Ant-Man 3, Feige wasn't just like, all right, we're going to do an Ant-Man 3. We need to wrap up the trilogy. It's not going to be that interesting. It's going to be isolated like all the other Ant-Man movies are. Something wrong with this water. It's just regular ice water. But I feel like maybe there was something in it. Like someone drank out of it before me, didn't wash it necessarily great. And so there's like remnants of whatever was in there before. I'm trying to taste it, but it's making me nauseous. The Fantastic Four. Everybody thinks, everybody, most people that I listen to are leaning and are guessing and are predicting that Ant-Man 3 is going to give us the Fantastic Four. Now, I thought the only way you get Captain Marvel into Endgame is the quantum realm, making Ant-Man a very important character all of a sudden. And they half did that. I mean, they used the quantum realm in Endgame to defeat Thanos and to reverse the snap from Infinity War, right? So there's just no way that Feige is like, okay, we're going to do an Ant-Man 3, even though they've introduced and learned how to operate the quantum realm. They basically don't have much of a purpose anymore until they do. And oh, that's right, we kind of like told everyone at Comic-Con that the Fantastic Four are coming, that the first family of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Brief history lesson for those of you who don't know. Stan Lee worked at like this comic book shop that did like bullshit comic books. Like there were no superheroes. There was no... It was like a sitcom. The comic books were like nonsense. They were comedy. They were comic strips told, grand stretched out stories. And I think like their comic book company was like floundering, and this guy was like, and like Stan Lee's boss was like, look, do you think you can like come up with something new or something else? And Stan Lee was like, well, I could, but there's like no way that they're going to go for this. Like I have this idea that they're this like family that live here. They don't live in some like, pretend world. They're not in Westeros. But, he was like, no, I want to make them like here. I want them to like live in New York City and be people who have abilities. And there's this like book about him where he said like the whole time writing it, he's like, this was so much fun, but I can't show this to anybody. He's like, no one's going to take this seriously. Like, no one's going to enjoy this. That's what I can't believe he didn't consider, that people would just enjoy it, that it would just be fun reading a story about pretend people that have superpowers. And that's how we came up with the Fantastic Four. And they are Marvel's first family. Reed Richards, Susan Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm, also known as The Thing. Now, who do we cast? Because let's just assume the quantum realm, they're trying to close it. They're trying to destroy it. Like I keep thinking about Doc Brown in Back to the Future 3 when he's like, I gotta destroy the time machine. Or maybe that was 2, towards the end of 2, I can't remember. But at one point Doc was like, we just have to destroy this thing. It's just caused too much madness. And, I feel like in Ant-Man 3, Scott Lang is going to say to Hank Pym, we have to like close this thing down. And maybe that'll cause a rift because, Michelle Pfeiffer lived there for like 30 years. She'll be like, well, no, there's so little we know about it. And I lived there for 3 years. You can't just destroy it. And maybe Paul will be like, well, maybe we can close it forever, close the quantum realm. And I think by trying to close it forever, they are going to open it forever. Basically, they are going to open something that allows the mutants in and that allows the Fantastic Four to be saved. Yes. So it's a heist movie. The second one, I don't really even know what to call the heist. The second one, it's basically just a comedy action thriller. Not really much of a thriller, but like a comedy action movie. That's really what it is. It's like Bad Boys, but instead of Will and Martin, it's Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd, which, hey, it's fine. Obviously, as you can see, that works out. So, what was I talking about? Right. Now, the crazy thing is about Ant-Man is that they are like their own thing. Like, he wasn't part of the Avengers movie. So he's this character, and he wasn't in Age of Ultron. But he has like this pop-up in Civil War, and then he is a master player in Endgame. He's not even in Infinity War. He's on house arrest. And then Ant-Man 2, it was right after Infinity War when, in the timeline, it's actually kind of like during Infinity War. He's on house arrest, playing with his daughter, and he kind of gets looped back into it. The third one, and in Ant-Man and the Wasp, we only had like a nod or two to the MCU until the post-credit scene. They didn't really bring up much that had been going on, like the Civil War and everything. They brought that up like once or twice. Remember the parole officer's talking to his daughter, to Cassie Lang, and he's like, your daddy and Captain America went to Germany and spray painted on the wall. And then when Hope is making fun of him for calling Captain America Cap. That's what we call him. Captain America. Cap. It's what we call him. It's so good. Paul Rudd's so great. It's like either that, like Kevin Feige has this grand, like, light bulb goes off. He's like, we can use the quantum realm to bring in the Fantastic Four. And then we can send Ant-Man off on a trilogy ender that spills us into, like, the next, 10 years of the MCU. I mean, the Fantastic Four are like it's like having the family of Spider-Man. Like, that's how vital they are. I mean, Reed Richards is a genius. Susan Storm is, what can she do? Like, make force fields? I feel like I mix up the Incredibles and the Fantastic Four too much. I mean, obviously we know Johnny Storm is the Human Torch. He can turn into, his whole body transforms into flames whenever he says flame up or flame on, and he can fly. I think he can shoot fire. And obviously Ben Grimm is the Thing, just this man made of rocks. And the Thing has taken Hulk on and fared pretty well, I believe, in the past. So that's the Fantastic Four. They're amazing. They're so cool. They have, one of their main villains, who I feel like if they do it this way with the Quantum Realm, and they find the Fantastic Four in there, and they're like, how'd you even get here? Their answer can be Doctor Doom. So, just my theory. Now, real quick, casting Fantastic Four, and I think I already have it figured out. Johnny Storm's going to be a tough one because Chris Evans, Captain America, played him and was great as him. And then obviously we had Killmonger play him in the other version. So we can't have him, we can't like have either of them reprise the role, which I didn't think they ever would. But who's going to play Ben Grimm? Because we got The Rock as Grimm. Who's going to play Johnny Storm? We have The Rock as Ben Grimm, and we obviously have the Krasinskis as Susan Storm and Reed Richards. But who is going to play the Human Torch? That's going to be a tough one. Who plays the Human Torch? Right off the bat, I'm going to say somebody really weird. But I feel like Chris Evans' portrayal of the Human Torch, he was like too good. I think Human Torch should be like the Bart Simpson or the Black Sheep or like the wild card of the group. And if you cast Shia LaBeouf as the Human Torch, who better to fit into the wild card role than that guy? So there's my cast. John Krasinski, obviously his wife, who I'm drawing a blank on her name, but we all know who she is, Emily Blunt. The Rock as Ben Grimm, and Shia LaBeouf. That's right, Shia LaBeouf. He's a great actor. I mean, he's a bit of a maniac when he's not acting, which more and more seems like most of them are. But that's my cast for now. If someone can come up with a better version, a better idea than Shia LaBeouf, let me know in the comments. And speaking of casting, the Batman movie, The Batman. I just gotta take a breather here. This Batman movie, after what the Joker has done, after what the Joker's doing, it's almost at $1 billion, and it has not been released in China. That just blows my mind. Like, if this movie was released in China, it'd be leaning into $2 billion. I feel like this director of Batman, again, I'm really good with names, guys. Jeez, I'm so sorry. I'm really good at aiming my coughs, too. The Batman director is Todd Phillips? No? Matt Reeves. Todd Phillips. He did the Joker. Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves is taking he's taking a heads up. He's taking a lesson from what Todd Phillips did with the Joker. Now, he's also taking a cue. I think that's the word I was going for, not a lesson. He's taking a cue from Kevin Feige. Because Kevin Feige took his fucking time. He didn't do what they did with Batman v Superman and Justice League and that whole mess. He's not rushing this. I mean, this movie's not coming out till 2021. Still 2019 right now, in case you didn't know. And every week there's an announcement about they're not casting Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, but they are casting people who are equally as talented. Robert Pattinson apparently is the most sought after actor right now, in his age group, in the country, maybe in the world. Seriously, the guy from Twilight is awesome at acting. I remember him. And the last time I saw him, the guy weighed 170 pounds in a soaking wet snowsuit. So, I don't know. Like, can he bulk up? He'll be a great Bruce Wayne. Because Bruce Wayne, you wear suits, you don't need to be ripped. But Batman's gotta have some... I mean, look at him. Look at him up there. He's a beast. He's a freak of nature. I mean, him and Superman are built the same. Superman's an alien. So can Robert Pattinson bulk up? I mean, maybe that's why this movie's taking so long. They need, to give him a year to, hit the gym like a maniac. Like Jake Gyllenhaal did for, whatever, that's Persia or something. But anyway, we got Robert Pattinson as Batman. No problem there. Then they cast Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, who... Zoe Kravitz is Lenny Kravitz's daughter, but her stepdad's Jason Momoa. So her stepdad is Aquaman, which would be unbelievable if they crossed over, which is not going to happen, as far as I have heard. And this isn't going to be any kind of crossover building towards a giant cinematic universe. But I really feel like this could be the beginning of a BatVerse. Because not only do they have... Okay, they have Batman... They have Alfred, and they have Commissioner Gordon, all cast. Or they're at least in talks, which, unless they pull a Jonah Hill, which we'll get into in a bit, they're all done. They're all locked in. So we have Jeffrey Wright playing Commissioner Gordon. We have Andy Serkis playing Alfred. Now, I gotta tell you, they could do a solo movie about, I mean, I know they're already doing an Alfred Pennyworth show where he's like a young kid and he meets Thomas Wayne for the first time, which is cool. But Andy Serkis, I mean, Andy Serkis is one of the best actors ever. I don't care if he's digital or if it's him. He's awesome no matter what he's doing. And he's Ulysses Claw in the MCU, and it's so crazy that he's Alfred in the DC, or the BatVerse, is what I'll call it. So, okay, Batman, Alfred, Commissioner Gordon. Jeffrey Wright, Commissioner Gordon, Serkis, Alfred. Pattinson. Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. So it's like, okay, cool, the villain's going to be Catwoman. Well, we're going to have Riddler too, and we're going to cast Paul Dano. This kid who no one knows him by name, but he's been in, like, amazing movies. Most notably, There Will Be Blood. And it's like batting after Barry Bonds. You know? Even if that fifth batter is, like, one of the best power hitters on the team, he's not Barry Bonds. So no matter what you're going to do, it's going to look not that great if you're acting next to Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, which he won an Oscar for. And finally today, the news broke. The Penguin is cast. So see what they're doing? They're like, I mean, what is this? Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin. 3 villains. 3 main, well-known, huge movie or comic book villains of Batman that were all in, Catwoman and Penguin together again, but Riddler in a different movie back when they did it in the 90s. So what took 2 movies is now taking 1. And we're getting an extra character, an extra villain. So the last thing that I heard is that, now please, someone trolled me. Someone did what I am, like, out to, be against, what I'm against, basically, is rumors as facts in this free medium that we have here. Matthew McConaughey to play Two-Face? No way. See, I feel like if they would have cast McConaughey, which I'm learning now it might be a rumor, because no one else is talking about it. I just saw it posted. And, like recently, all the news that keeps coming out, it's like you're either like at the top of your game or you're like a superstar that names are being announced for this movie. And when I saw McConaughey, I was like, oh, geez. But McConaughey's awesome. He's just McConaughey. Like, Paul Dano, I had to write his name down because I can't remember it because I don't know him. Jeffrey Wright, I mean, I know him from Westworld, and he was in Boardwalk Empire, and he's starting to pop up everywhere now. He's actually, in the MCU, he's the Watcher in the What If animated show on Disney+. Disney+, by the way. We are less than a week away. I made my purchase, my 1-year subscription, yesterday. And I don't really know what to do. Like, do I just, like, go to Disney Plus app? Because there isn't one. If anybody knows how to at least find the app so I can, like, sign in. I know I can't watch anything, but I can at least sign in. Let me know in the comments. There's no way that app isn't crashing on day 1. Mandalorian airs at midnight on the East Coast, so probably going to stay awake and do a reaction video immediately after that. So that'll be, I don't know. Because we got the trailer reaction videos, we got the hot takes. It'll be a hot take. So, hot take Mandalorian, the 12th. So, 5 days away. Gonna be awesome. Gonna be great, just like this Batman movie. Do you guys love the casting? Do you think they're gonna announce another villain? I mean, if they're doing all these villains, there's no way all of them are dying in the first movie. So they're gonna do a trilogy, and what villain is gonna keep carrying over? All of them? Possibly, probably Catwoman. You know, she's always like in between his enemy and his love. So I don't know, guys. It's going to be so great. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to do it for me. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell, comment, share with your friends and your family, and get me doing this full time. I love doing it, guys. Please just come on. Don't be afraid. No one's commented. There's only like a few random comments on my channel. So be the first to have some balls and either agree or disagree with me, and leave me a question, leave me a comment. Oh. The only thing about Skywalker is it gives you really bad cotton mouth. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. I love you. Bye.